What's up, guys? I'm bringing you Week 5 NPBA Teambuilder versus the Detroit Dittos. So I actually recorded about 5 minutes of this video and I realized I had a moveset that was not legal, so I had to restart. That was pretty unfortunate. So as I started last week, I'm going to post this video, the Teambuilder, separately from the battle, so don't expect a battle in this video. If you don't want to watch this and just wait for the battle, that's fine. So I'll just get into his team now. This is probably our hardest matchup, and given that we're 2-2, that's not looking good for us. He's got about 7 things I'm worried about and 4 things I'm a little bit worried about. The Urshifu is extremely threatening as it breaks our Ferrothorn Toxapex core. The Melmetal I can wall to some degree, but it's still very strong. The Tapu Lele isn't the scariest, but it's pretty good against our Latios, or Latias. Still making that mistake. The Latias isn't that bad. I think we can deal with it. I don't think he'll bring it because he has Crocodile, or because I have Crocodile. If he does bring it though, we're actually in a bit of trouble because I'm not bringing Crocodile. But I can still deal with it with like some other stuff. Spectrier is very threatening. It's faster than anything I'm bringing. And I don't have any Choice Scarf this week. Actually, I do have a Choice Scarf, so forget that. But it's still faster than everything except my one Choice Scarf Pokemon. And with Nasty Plot, that's really scary. Mega Aerodactyl, also one of the scariest. So Urshifu, Spectrier, and Aerodactyl are the 3 biggest threats. I expect him to bring all 3 of those. This is just, again, really strong, and it gets Fire Fang, so I can't fully wall it with Ferrothorn. But I think I'll be able to deal with it. Anyway, the Tangrowth it's just a big wall. It's not super scary, but it can stop like some of our stronger threats and just Leech Seed us and be annoying. Smeargle, if he brings it, it has sticky webs. It's not the worst in the world. I can deal with that. Lantern is decently bulky. It can paralyze. Again, not too bad. Flareon with Will-O-Wisp can be annoying depending on who he gets the burn on. And then Lopunny, if it has Trick Assault Vest, that could mess up like my Toxapex, but I highly doubt he brings it. So I would say we are very likely to see Urshifu, Spectrier, Aerodactyl, Tangrowth, Tapu Lele, and the 6th one, I have no idea. Maybe one of his fringe picks down there. Or just the Melmetal. I don't know. So for my team, the first one up is Mega Latias. This is max speed, timid, and max special attack. This is to speed tie his own Latias. If he doesn't bring his own Latias, it at least will outspeed the Lopunny. If he doesn't bring that, we'll outspeed the Urshifu. I have no real need to go for Modest, so I didn't end up doing that. So Recover is being used over Calm Mind because he's got some stuff here like the Tangrowth and potentially like the Latias. I don't know if I switch into like a close combat on Urshifu, which I wouldn't really do, but there's a lot of things here that I'll resist, so I'd like to be able to recover them back. And then other than that, just got coverage moves. So Aura Sphere is for Urshifu. We outspeed it and super effective, so we will one-hit KO the Urshifu if I use Aura Sphere, unless he's like Assault Vest or something like that. It's also very strong against the Melmetal. I don't OHKO it because he's probably going to be Assault Vest, but I can at least 2-hit KO it, so you can't really switch in. And then next move is Draco Meteor. This is just a spammable move. His only switch-ins to Draco are Tapu Lele and Melmetal. Melmetal doesn't really like taking Draco Meteors. Obviously Lele's immune, but Urshifu probably dies. Latias definitely dies, Spectrier definitely dies, Aerodactyl definitely dies, Tangrowth can probably live it, but it'll do a lot of damage. Then last move is Shadow Ball. This is for Tapu Lele, otherwise we're hard walled. So Mega Latias is really good in this matchup. He's got some answers to it, like Spectrier, Urshifu, Lele, but all of those answers I at least have something for, so it's not like he can ever like fully safely switch in. So Shadow Ball will hit the Lele. It's also coverage for Latias and Spectrier, Now Draco Meteor is stronger against both of them, but sometimes you don't want to use Draco because you don't want to risk missing, or you don't want to drop your special attack, or he still has a Lele up, so it's not safe. So Shadow Ball is super important for Lele. Next up is Ferrothorn, so this is the one I had to change. Someone had told me to run a set with counter on it, which I was like, oh, that's like really good against his Urshifu. It turns out he does not learn counter. So I'm gonna really quickly, okay, I just checked, we're in National Dex, and he in fact does not learn counter. So I don't know why someone told me to do that. I really thought he learned counter. It would have been really cool if he did, but he doesn't learn counter, so I switched that to Stealth Rock. That's why I had to restart the video, because like I wasn't sure what I was going to change. I ended up only changing the Stealth Rock counter to Stealth Rock. So this set is going to be a bit of a counter to Urshifu. It's subject to change. I was thinking of maybe Rocky Helmet for the Melmetal and the Aerodactyl, but I'm sticking with Choppleberry. It means I can live a close combat easily, Thunder Wave him, and then from there we're fine. If I get Thunder Wave off on Urshifu, he's pretty much useless because Latias will just kill him. Other than that, it's pretty standard. Gyro Ball will be able to hit a lot of his team because he's really fast. Like Lele's weak to it. Latias, Spectrier, and Aerodactyl are all fast and will take a lot of damage from it, especially the Aerodactyl. And I'm pretty sure I can live one Fire Fang because I'm max defense. So that's pretty nice. Then I've got Leech Seed. This is mainly for Melmetal, but like nothing really wants to be Leech Seeded. It's just a generally good move, other than the Tangrowth, but ideally we have to switch out on Tangrowth anyway. And then Stealth Rock is nice to hinder his Aerodactyl, as well as force him to defog potentially, and stop his switching. He's got like U-turn here, and he's got a lot of threats that aren't really wanting to stay in against my threats, so he'll have to switch out quite a bit. Stealth Rocks is pretty good here. It's not as good as Toxic Spikes. So next up, of course, is Toxapex, and this is also fully physically defensive. Neither of them are specially defensive, but of course they're still naturally especially bulky. So Toxapex with Toxic Spikes, the reason this is so good is because it stops Lele from Calm Minding. It stops Spectrier from Calm Minding or Nasty Plotting and like using Substitute and all that. It's not amazing against Urshifu, but it's pretty good because Urshifu's not really a sweeper. If he's a bulk up set, it is. But Urshifu's usually just like a Choice Scarf, Choice Band type of thing. And then it's great for Tangrowth as well because I can't Leech Seed Tangrowth, and it's kind of a problem for me. But with Toxic, if I get Toxic Spikes off on it, it can't really do much. It'll have to switch out eventually. So that's going to be really nice, as well as like having hazards. If he doesn't bring Latias, looking at his team actually, sorry I'm getting sidetracked, his only defoggers are Latias, which is a good defogger, Mega Aerodactyl, which is a terrible defogger, and then Smeargle, which could be Rapid Spin. And considering I have no ghosts, it's probably Rapid Spin if he brings it. But none of those are particularly good options. If you look at my team, Latios is pretty bad against me, or Latias. It doesn't really handle like Comfey Volcarona very well, and it just loses to my own Mega Latias. So he might have to bring it, but that's suboptimal. So hazards are pretty nice to have here, because it either forces him to bring a less than optimal Latias, or he just can't remove them, which is amazing. The rest of it is pretty standard. Knockoff, kind of just threaten anything, get rid of anything's items. For example, like Melmetal is probably Assault Vest, but if I knock it off, then Latias can easily kill it. Urshifu, it might be Choice Scarfed. If it gets knocked off, Latias can outspeed. Lele might be Leftovers. Getting rid of that could be nice too. Scald is obvious. You've got to use Scald to burn the Melmetal and the Urshifu. So that one was a no-brainer. And then Recover. I could have run Baneful Bunker, instead of recover. I figured if I'm toxic spiking, I don't think Baneful Bunker makes a lot of sense. Like, I don't want too much status. The reason Scald is good, like, they might already be poisoned, but I can still Scald the Melmetal and the Aerodactyl, because they can't get poisoned by toxic spikes. So, having status is still good here. And then recover is nice if they're trying to break through me and I can just toxic stall, mainly against the Tangrowth, or maybe like the Spectrier, or even the Urshifu. Next up, I've got Comfey. So this is my special wall. So I've got 2 physical walls and a special wall. Might not be ideal, but I'm hoping it works out here. This one has heavy duty boots. I mean, it has U-turn. It's going to be switching in and out a lot. It's not really one that you want to stay in with for a long time, so heavy duty boots is pretty nice here. Of course, Defog. It's my only Defogger, and I have Volcarona, so I could have run Defog on Latias, but I didn't want to. So it's pretty good here. Draining Kiss is a 1-hit KO against Urshifu, unless it's Assault Vest, which I said earlier, like why would he be Assault Vest? So this is my answer to Urshifu. It's also like especially bulky, so it can do quite a bit to just sit there and stop Tapu Lele, stop Spectrier from just blowing everything up, and then it has a U-turn to get out if it's not an ideal matchup. And of course Synthesis with Triage is quite a good combo. If you don't know, sorry, Triage makes it so moves like Draining Kiss and Synthesis, any healing move, and that counts like straight up healing like Synthesis or draining moves like Draining Kiss and Giga Drain, anything like that gets +3 priority. So that's why I don't have to run speed to outspeed that Urshifu. I can just run no speed and I'll outspeed it with Draining Kiss. Volcarona is the main win con. I still have not really gotten Volcarona to work in Draft League, which is unfortunate. But with Quiver Dance, I outspeed everything on his team. And then Bug Buzz, Flamethrower, Giga Drain, nothing on his team can wall this. Like, seriously, there's no way he can stop this. I guess Mega Aerodactyl kinda, but not really. I have to use Giga Drain against it. So this is going to be quite strong. If I get off a Quiver Dance, I'm going to be in good shape. So he doesn't really have an answer to this. So I'm hoping this will be the win condition, but I might have to clear the path a little bit. Stuff like Lele can be tanky. Lantern and Flareon are actually... Sorry, I get walled by Flareon. So if he brings Flareon, he got me. But I can deal with Flareon, obviously, with my other Pokemon, like Urshifu, so I'm not too scared of that. Last up, as I just said... Oh, and this is Heavy Duty Boots, so I know I said Comfey is defog, it's just like if I get knocked off or whatever. I didn't want to risk that, and the defog on Comfey is still pretty valuable for the rest of my team. Urshifu's the last one. Choice Scarf is pretty important because it lets us outspeed the Mega Aerodactyl. So I was originally not running max speed Jolly, I was running an Adamant set to outspeed the Aerodactyl. I realized if he has his own Urshifu and it's Jolly nature, max speed Choice Scarf, that's going to be a big problem because it'll outspeed me, do a lot of damage with close combat, and I can Oko him back, but I didn't want to risk anything. So I'm running fully max speed because I still Oko his Aerodactyl with Surging Strikes, obviously. This is a good answer to regular Urshifu. I resist Wicked Blow, and I can kill him in one hit with Close Combat. Close Combat will do a pretty good amount to Melmetal, it won't kill. Surging Strikes will be really good for Lele, really good for Spectrier. Obviously, it instantly kills Aerodactyl. Probably don't even need to hit it all 3 times. It probably only needs 2 hits to kill Aerodactyl. And then Tangrowth is the big wall against us. I figured... Oh, I have U-turn, of course, because why not have U-turn? I ended up going with Ice Punch over Poison Jab. So Poison Jab would be stronger, but Ice Punch, I had a very specific reason for this at the time. I think it was if he switched in his Latias. Like, Poison Jab wasn't going to do all that much anyways against the Tangrowth, so I figured I'd run Ice Punch because it was stronger against Latias. Oh, it was so if he switched into Aerodactyl, he'd die. That was why. So if I was in on his Tangrowth, for whatever reason he switches out, or maybe I'm predicting a Tangrowth switch in, but it's actually an Aerodactyl and I use Ice Punch, it'll do a lot of damage. Now you may be thinking, isn't close combat stronger? That's true, but my last move slot really doesn't matter that much, so if I for some reason don't want to drop my special defense in my defense, I'll use Ice Punch. So overall, this is a tough matchup just because he has so many big threats. Comfey is going to be pretty big in walling his two huge special attackers in Lele Spectrier, and then I'm hoping Toxapex Ferrothorn can wall his Melmetal Urshifu Aerodactyl. I really don't think Latias will come. Tangrowth I do think will come, but it's not super threatening. At the same time, it does get Rock Slide for Volcarona, so ideally by the time he switches in, I already have a Quiver Dance up, and then he can't do anything about it, and I just Flamethrower and he dies. So if I can get off a Quiver Dance, I think I can win just from there, unless he has Flareon. Otherwise, I'm going to have to control hazards, get his stuff poisoned, stop him from setting up, don't let him get a substitute, and I'll do that through just pressuring him with like Latias or walling him with like Toxapex and Comfey. Ferrothorn's kind of offensive with Gyro Ball, and crippling his fast Pokemon with Thunder Wave will also be really nice. I didn't mention earlier, if I was saying I could Thunder Wave his Urshifu, I could also very easily Thunder Wave Spectrier or Aerodactyl. If I'm in on Aerodactyl, I'm probably using Gyro Ball anyway. But if I get a Thunder Wave off on anything, nothing will be able to outspeed Latias, and then Latias can just kill from there. Hopefully this works out. I'm going to have the battle later tonight, or maybe tomorrow, so I'll see you guys then. Thanks.